Welcome to another episode of This Is Not Your Mother's Comic Book Podcast. Last week we dived into a little bit of our books. You had some serial killers that were based on not serial killers, prisoners that were based on a true story, which is wild, of that one-shot comic. And your comic was the Lego Ninjago that was not Lego.
Yeah.
It was Lego. The bodies were Lego. That's close enough.
It was a little bit Lego.
It's just
The most minimal amount of Lego.
Bare minimum
It was like
Lego.
somebody that was Lego breathed in the direction of it.
this week we have read some other books. Alex, why don't you go on to you? I believe you read Galaxy of Madness, right?
Yeah.
All right.
So, Galaxy of Madness, this is the second one, so you kind of do need a little bit of information from the first. Basically, this guy named Odysseus, you're canceled. This guy named Odysseus essentially adopted this young girl into the life of like space adventures. And I'm reading this like a pick of the week, and it's like not a conversation. I don't know how to differ from that. But it's the daughter ends up finding a map that her original parents end up searching for. And that's a very deadly path to go down. Like the whole thing is that like that's the thing that killed her parents, was going down this path to find this map to get something.
She's an orphan.
Yeah.
Everyone's an
It's
orphan.
a space archaeologist is specifically what she is.
Oh, it's like a space Indiana Jones?
Exactly.
Oh. So, that's pretty cool. We're gonna move on over here down the road to Ray over here.
Yes.
I know
So
you.
true.
I know. I know you were excited about this one,
I
right?
was so excited for this one. Grommets, number 3, the
Damn.
July issue. So yeah, Grommets is probably my favorite comic series that I've gotten into so far. It's
Wow.
so good.
Like of all time.
Of all time.
Really?
Out of any of them I've read so far.
Mm-hmm.
This is it. This is the one. And this is the 3rd issue, so you know it's just more of the same stuff. It's a lot more grounded than most comic series,
Right.
because it's just about these kids that are just little skateboarders, just doing like
Yeah.
well, middle school nonsense.
This is the 3rd one, right? So take us back to the first. You read the first one and second one, I'm assuming?
Yeah.
So take us back to the first
No,
one.
it's his favorite series, but he's only read this one.
It's pretty cool cover. Like, so what happened in like the first one? Give us a little summary of the first one and the second one so
Okay,
far.
so the first one, it's about Rick and Brian. I think his name is Rick.
Is that the main dude
His
on the...
favorite series.
Please, you just started.
Yeah, and they're just 2 kids. So one in the middle there.
Hey, whoa.
I can
Stop
show
showing
this
his
cover if you need.
Yeah.
He was the new kid, and then Brian was the other kid that was there, already, and everybody bullied him, and then Brian kind of
Took him under his wing.
yeah, took him under his wing.
Nice of him.
Because they both skateboarded. Neither of them can skateboard very well, but that's like the charm of it. Like,
Right.
It's
Is
just
Tony Hawk in
skateboarding.
this?
No
That's
Tony
all I care about.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's pretty much it. I mean, it's really simple. It's really much just a day in the life style comic. Like,
This is the time period one too, isn't it?
Yeah, it's in 1984. So
That's cool.
there's like so many little Easter eggs and stuff. I mean, obviously none of us were alive in 1984, but we know all about the 80s. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Good times.
20 years before I was born.
yeah.
Damn.
It's crazy.
I wish I lived in the 80s actually.
So-
It seems
so
like,
do I.
I mean, I think it was like one of the last generation to be like outside all the time, like going to malls and everything,
Bro,
and
I was
arcades.
outside.
I don't know about
Yeah?
you, but I was
Yeah.
outside. All
I mean,
the
I was
time.
outside all the time.
I was-
They say that the 90s kids were the last of it or whatever, but like we were like the very last of it. Or we're not.
I was
Or I
living that,
think yours might have been your generation.
I was living like Sandlot life, like a bunch of neighborhood kids just going out and playing kickball literally every day of the summer, and then school would be like, you want to come out to play? Like literally every single day.
Oh, yeah.
Because I was like
For
an
sure.
athlete kid, so I
Yeah.
just loved playing.
I actually like whenever I drive home and I see kids outside playing, it makes me happy to know that they're still doing that and not just stuck inside, even though it's not as much as they used to be. Yeah. So that's really crazy.
I mean, it's also just getting really hot outside. Like it's deterring people away a lot
Global
of the time.
warming.
We're hitting
Just
we're
determined me
hitting
from
like
going outside.
hundreds
Yeah.
in Indiana.
Yeah.
Like,
Did anything crazy happen in this issue right here, or anything leading up to anything?
Yeah, like what's the conflict? Like what is the kind of
Which is an internal conflict that
Yeah.
this main protagonist is going through right now.
So the two, they're both pretty much just equally main characters. The two kids.
Mm-hmm.
They both have their own issues. Brian lives with his grandpa and his mom, and then the other kid just lives with his parents. There's not really like much of it's because it's such a day in the life style comic.
Right.
There's not like
so
any
the
like
story's like that. There is no story.
Right.
It's
yeah,
just like
it's just what they're doing every day.
And
And I mean, it does go more into their characters because like Brian has a lot of issues at home that bother him, and
Yeah.
like the second issue was more about Rick, and then this issue is kind of more about Brian. So I feel like it kind of goes back and forth,
That's cool.
going more in depth into like both of
Yeah.
them and like what they feel comfortable with. Because obviously, like they're I think in middle school. I don't know if it really said their ages, but you know they're teenagers that are
Yeah.
discovering the world, so they're trying new things, and you know getting all freaked out about girls.
It's a coming
and-
of age.
yeah, coming of age, day in the life comic,
Yeah.
and just the simplicity of it is great, and it's super funny. Like there's a lot of just really funny parts in there.
Does it
and
show
the
like
art
7
direction-
hours straight of school?
Yeah.
Like the art style is insane. Like the color is
That's
It's really great.
it is crazy. It's all super sharp.
I could
and
honestly
there's
see that
always
being-
so many colors.
Being a television show.
And also, like, I'm a big skateboarder, so obviously that's another reason
Yeah.
why I'm obsessed
the
with
cool
this
one.
one.
yeah. He's the cool one. He's
Yes.
the
Look at that mustache. I mean, come on. Damn.
But yeah, so also like being a huge skateboarder, this also just speaks to me. And you know, if I was a skateboarder in the '80s, this would be it.
That'd be it.
and it's coming out now though, so like you wouldn't have
Even
it.
Yeah.
better. You have it now.
Right, well, but I could have lived it. Though.
I think this is like definitely the reliving version of it, where it's
Yeah.
like, man, if I did live this life, it would be like
That'd be me.
it'd be so saturated with like feeling in a way.
Yeah.
Instead of kind of feeling bland, like a lot of stories do now, even not necessarily comics, but like
Yeah,
just retellings of things.
yeah. I'm excited to see where they go, and you know, there's a TP that'll be coming out for this one.
You gonna have it?
You know,
You gonna have it?
I love TPs.
Oh yeah. It's
And
great.
yeah, this just speaks to me on a whole different level. Because my dream
That's really
actually is opening a skateboard comic book shop. So it's
Whoa,
like
that's
they're
pretty
both.
cool.
He talked about it a bit.
There
It's
you
pretty
go.
this is both. Of
That would be
those
really
things.
sick. I mean,
fire.
like.
Future Atlas, cut that out so no one steals his idea.
Yeah. That's really cool because we got skate shops. Not
got
that many.
skate
but
shops, we got
comic
comic
shops.
shops.
Not a skate comic shop.
Mhm.
That's pretty cool.
Like the licensing on the boards, on the board art and stuff like that. Imagine getting like artists there too to sign boards or something.
Little boards.
Or decks specifically.
See?
Hell yeah.
Complete antithesis
Oh,
of
yeah.
that. Because it's just like, just vibe. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
that's exactly what they kind of said to the Rick and Brian. So the two writers of this are Rick and Brian, and they're technically the main characters. But I think Rick was born in the 70s, so he was this age in 1984. But Brian was born in 1984, so they weren't actually friends.
So it's kind of like age gap.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
met at a Comic-Con in 1999, and they just kind of instantly became best friends, and they both skateboarded together.
Okay.
So a lot of the stuff that happens in this comic is actually real stuff that happened to them when they were kids.
So it's kind of based
But-
off of like a true story. That
Yeah,
are retelling.
but it's like how they would have imagined their childhoods if they were like friends at
That's
that time.
so cool.
That's
Yeah.
really cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so crazy to think about.
It
Like,
is really cool.
Imagine meeting your like adult best friend and being like, what would our lives be like
Yeah.
together? Like that's
Yeah.
and then creating that. That's so
It's pretty cool.
And then
sick.
taking samples of what they did do, and like, oh,
Yeah.
so put this in there.
Yeah.
You know, oh, that's
It's
crazy.
like what would you probably do as a kid if you were near me when this happened or something like
Yeah.
that? You know?
So what about that scene where in the first? Because I read these issues too because like, they look really good.
Yeah.
What about that scene when he bails and like hits the pavement
Yeah,
and
I
his
mean,
race is all like messed up?
yeah. I mean, I kind of talked about that in the first episode of the podcast.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, when he bailed and it went through like the history of that meteorite,
Yeah.
and he hit it, and then he slammed on the pavement like face first, and his
His braces.
Braces, yeah.
Braces.
His braces were like sticking out his lip, like top and bottom. And Brian said that is actually something that happened to him, like one of the first times that he went skating into a bowl because he didn't know how to like slow down. So he said that did actually happen, and the braces were sticking out of his lips.
Gnarly.
It's crazy.
Oh, that's sick. Yeah.
It seems so cool that they're so talented at telling a story without making it, like, without basically introducing, like, ex machina mechanics, where it's just like, here's a problem, solve it, and it's like, oh, here's the solution, just out of nowhere, kind of, and it's just literally their day-to-day life.
Yeah.
Like, that's so cool.
Oh, yeah.
Do you happen to have anything, sir?
No.
Okay.
I actually hate that.
Alright, see you later!
I'm more of a movie kind of guy. No. I read Absolute Power Task Force 7, issue number 3. I actually had to catch up because I missed issue number 2, so I had to read that one as well. And so it seems like each one of these issues of Task Force 7, which is the Amazos androids that have been taking away the powers of the Justice League and every hero in the DC. Each issue has been about a different Amazo. Like the first one was about Superman Amazo. And the second one was about an Aquaman Amazo, and this one, the third one, is about a Green Lantern Amazo.
Interesting.
Yeah, but they're not as. What's crazy is that in the first Absolute Power issue number 1, they're perceived as these like Terminator killing machines that have no emotions and everything. But this one, when it's really crazy. When this Amazo, I think he's called Jadestone. Yeah, Jadestone. Yeah, they each have their own different name. This one's called Jadestone. When he attacks Green Lantern, and it's actually Alan Scott Green Lantern. If y'all don't know who Alan Scott is, he was the very first Green Lantern that ever showed up in DC. He was part of the JSA, the Justice Society of America. And his powers is actually, his lantern powers is actually different from like the main continuity of what we know of Green Lanterns. You know, Hal Jordan, John Stewart, Guy Gardner, how they all get it from like the willpower of the planet Aura.
So the first one gets the power from where?
Actually, I don't. I think it's just from an actual like. He gets it from an actual lantern, not from like not from the planet core and like the willpower. It's like it's a different source.
As a person who doesn't know comics as well, also they're not only taking away the powers but using the powers as the superhero.
Yeah.
The Amazos, right?
Yeah, the Amazos androids, they take the powers and they use them against them and whatnot. So but what's crazy is that when he takes Alan Scott's powers, his main programming is now changed, and he now has another option that shows up. It's really cool because it shows up in the panels. He has these boxes that show up his dialogue of him in his internal mind, but then another it's orange, and then another dialogue pops up on like, or try this, and it's in green. It's like and this Amazo is conflicted with following his main programming or doing a different order, you know, going against it. And so he even reports back to Amanda Waller, telling them, I successfully took away a Green Lantern's powers. She's like, cool, where's he at? And she's like, he got away. She's like, go get him or whatever. And in his mind, he's like, should I go get Green Lantern or should I kill Amanda Waller? It's really wild.
Is this the first time that this is kind of introduced into the androids, where it's like that choice?
Yeah, it kind of is, and it's really weird. Because in the first one, the Superman Amazo was just kind of like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go in there, I'm gonna mess up these Shazam and his family. The second one, the Aquaman android, he shows up at Atlantis and he captured Aquaman. He's like, everybody obey. Like, I'm the new leader of Atlantis. I conquer your people. But you kind of get a hint of it because when he's influencing the sharks to attack, he also kind of gets a hint of like the shark's mentality of like just kill.
Yeah.
And he destroys like the whole city of Atlantis. So Amanda Waller gets pissed that they were no longer going to be allies. She wanted the Atlanteans to be allies. So you kind of get a hint of like, oh, so they're not exactly listening. Them assuming the powers is kind of like backfiring a little bit. And this one, Jadestorm, the Green Lantern Amazo, is now like, he might be a good guy actually, because when he shows up and he attacks Green Lantern and his people, Wildcat, Hourman, Stargirl, when he shows up to attack them, he is supposed to kill them, But instead, Alan Scott Green Lantern is like, why don't you let them go and I'll go with you? And he's like, because he's conflicted. This Amazo is like, he's like, I have one part of me telling me to do this, I have another one telling me to let you guys go. I don't know what to do. And he's like, what is this? And Alan Scott's like, that's called free will. You know? Yeah. So it's a robot that feels. Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
An android that feels.
Yeah.
Wonder
AI that feels.
That would make sense though, especially with like Alan Scott. Like, you know, the whole Green Lantern power comes from willpower.
Yeah.
So taking the power gave him, you know, willpower.
Right.
Free will.
So like, is DC's or this definition of android fully mechanical, fully like artificial intelligence? There's no human aspect to it.
There's no human. There's no like nothing in there. It was created by Brainiac Queen and Failsafe and Amanda Waller, and like it was with the same material as Failsafe and whatnot. So like they're all just completely androids. They're not cyborgs or anything. There's no humans or anything whatsoever.
So they can do this the whole time and just decided to do it?
Do it.
To make these androids to take their powers and how
no.
It took Amanda Waller a long time. Her rise to power.
Yeah, and then also they did this also the help of Brainiac Queen. Well, she was just created in House of Brainiac arc that just finished too.
Got it.
So and then also with the the collaboration with Failsafe as well. So it's not like Amazos Amazo androids have been a part of the DC lore for a while now. You know, they've all just been super strong robots or whatever, and they've been able to copy powers, but not steal powers. Yeah, so then that's one of the big things about these new Amazos. They steal the powers, and like Failsafe has said, you're not gonna get these powers back. There's no way you can get your powers back.
Cool. That's all I have for my book.
That's all you got. That's pretty much all I got for this week. Thank you guys for tuning in and joining us for another episode of This Is Not Your Mother's Comic.